All right, the ACLJ, the American Center for Law and Justice, has obtained hundreds of pages of government documents related to Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton, remember meeting on the tarmac in 2016, which reveals several very key pieces of stunning information. First, according to the ACLJ, the FBI lied about the existence of these documents because last year, when the legal group, when they filed a request for the material, a FOIA request, after the meeting, the FBI replied, quote, "No records responsive to your request were located." And we're also finding out documents related to the Lynch-Clinton tarmac meeting do exist. So why did the FBI say there weren't any? What exactly did they not want you, the American people, to know? Now, this is why night after night on this program, we have been calling for a full investigation. You deserve to know the truth. We deserve to know exactly what happened. And as for the documents, well, here's what we do know and what we have gotten and what they show. There's an email correspondence between FBI and DOJ officials with the subject, quote, flag, where they discussed how media outlets like Fox News were starting to report on the tarmac meetings. The email also included a set of talking points, but they, of course, were redacted. Why is the DOJ and why is the FBI sending talking points out? Are they a political organization? Then another email that was forwarded from the Department of Justice to the FBI contained questions from a reporter asking for details on how Bill Clinton knew Loretta Lynch would be at the airport tarmac at the exact same time. Now, next, an email from July 1st, 2016. It shows the FBI was looking for, quote, guidance on how to respond to media requests for information. And finally, emails appear to show that the media was colluding with President Obama's Department of Justice on how to spin the story. Here's an example from a Washington Post reporter to a DOJ official about the tarmac meeting. Quote, "My editors are still pretty interested in it, and I'm hoping I can put to rest by answering just a few more questions about how the meeting came about." That's so nice of them at the Washington Post. Would they ever do that for Donald Trump? So all of this is absolutely shameful. It's corrupt, and it proves that we have a two-tier justice system. That's where it gets serious. Now, you can add all the other examples, this mountain of evidence that we have when it comes to Loretta Lynch, James Comey, and, of course, the Clintons. Remember, Comey testified under oath that Lynch pressured him to call the Clinton email investigation a matter publicly. That was a Clinton talking point, which he ended up actually doing. Does that sound like obstruction of justice? Now, this is why we are demanding, we're not just calling anymore, we're demanding a special counsel be appointed to look into all of this. The law in this country needs to be applied equally no matter who you are. And just because Hillary Clinton lost the election, she does not get a free pass. Now, a second breaking news story tonight. The Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, declares war on the deep state, on the leaking. Earlier today, Sessions held an important press conference. Let's take a look and catch up.
No one is entitled to surreptitiously fight to advance battles in the media by revealing sensitive government information. No government can be effective when its leaders cannot discuss sensitive matters in confidence or talk freely in confidence with foreign leaders. To prevent these leaks, every agency and Congress has to do better. We are taking a stand. This culture of leaking must stop.
Finally, this is so important. It's time the Attorney General takes action against these unprecedented deep state leaks. Now, as I was explaining last night, if you have any doubt about what we have been telling you about this deep state, look at these examples. Earlier this week, the Washington Post, which has been at the epicenter of these leaks, they actually published transcripts of President Trump's phone conversations with the President of Mexico, the Prime Minister of Australia. Now, just think back in your memory banks. Has that ever happened to any other president? The leaking of these transcripts is so bad that even some obstructionist Democrats are condemning what happened here. This type of thing never happened to President Obama or President Bush. In fact, President Trump has faced leaks at a rate 7 times greater than the previous 2 administrations. And as we've been telling you, during one period, the Trump administration faced 125 leaks in 126 days. That's about 1 a day. These deep state leaks need to stop. Many of them are illegal. Most of them are illegal. It's now becoming clear these present a danger to the president, the country, the Constitution, the agenda you voted for, our constitutional rights to privacy. This is bad. Now, to be clear, I have been saying 99.9% of those in the intelligence community, they are good people. They work hard, they're patriotic, and their job is so imperative in an evil world that we live in. The problem we face is a small sect within the intelligence community. It appears at the highest levels in the Obama administration, they hate President Trump. They don't care about the last election. Just take a look at the Obama administration's unmasking scandal. Our friend Sarah Carter reported earlier this week, former Obama National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes, he is now a person of interest in the House Intelligence Committee investigation into what? Unmasking. Then take a look at the headline from the Washington Free Beacon yesterday. Former UN Ambassador Power unmasked hundreds in the final year of the Obama administration. Sources that spoke to the Free Beacon said this was, quote, unprecedented for a UN ambassador, an official in her position, to ever do that. We've also learned Congress is questioning other top former Obama officials, Susan Rice, John Brennan, about unmasking. Also the Hill's John Solomon reporting that former Obama Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, he made it easier for officials in the executive branch of Obama to unmask members of Congress and their staffers. Here's the problem. These unelected, deep state Obama holdovers, these bureaucrats, are now creating in the United States of America a two-tier system of justice, a constitutional crisis. They're threatening the right to privacy. They're shredding our Fourth Amendment privacy rights. This is a war now, the deep state against you and the President of the United States. It's a serious issue. Our third major breaking news story tonight. Congressman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she is actually now defending this insane decision to keep on an IT staffer on the payroll after he was fired by other members of Congress and his access to House computer servers were actually denied. Listen to this insanity. Take a look.
The easier thing to do for me would have been to just fire him. Obviously, I was the person who's had the most political challenges in the last year, so it would have been much easier for me to just cut him loose and say, you know, I'm going to look out for my best interests rather than stand up for what I believe in. But I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror every day. And if there's one thing I'm going to make sure that I maintain is my integrity.
Wow, you can read more about that story on sunsentinel.com/DWS. Wasserman Schultz then went on to say that she thinks the only reason this IT staffer is being scrutinized is because of his Muslim faith. Now, Debbie Wasserman Schultz seems to have forgotten why this IT staffer story is such a big deal. Let me remind her. Last month, her former staffer, his name is Imran Awan, he was charged with bank fraud, apprehended, trying to flee the country, and authorities have also been reportedly investigating Awan for allegedly, double billing House Democrats, computer equipment. There's also fears about possible email hacking, exposing House Democrats' information online, national security threats, and earlier this year, when news of the overbilling scandal broke, several Democratic lawmakers fired Awan and his relatives. One worked at a car dealership, one worked at McDonald's, and one apparently stayed home and was denied access at that point to House servers. Then there's this. The Daily Caller reported the FBI has seized two, not one, two government hard drives that happened to be smashed and stored in this guy's garage. Now, the staffer's lawyer disputes this. I'm not buying it. And finally, for months, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was stonewalling the investigation, kind of like Hillary. So the Congresswoman can try and spin the story any way she wants. That does not take away the facts behind the scandal. And just like everything else we've been talking about, night in, night out, if you believe in the rule of law, the equal application of justice, this must be investigated. We will not stop on this program until it is. And that's with every other scandal we talk about.